No. Okay, so yeah, we commencing 14th of October. Well done. Amazing, phenomenal performance last week. Alhamdulillah. The key piece of advice I followed is do not engage it too early. Basically, let the retail go after it when the New York session opens. Same basically strategy as I do with London, and pretty much what basically ICT has always preached. Is that element of the market opening and the amount of traffic and the less informed traders that jump in, that aspect is basically universal. Okay, forex futures don't matter. You know, that's why you have when, let's say, future opens. You have moves like this, what we obviously formerly known as Judas swings, right? And then where do we come in? Well, we come in after the most of the retail is basically stopped down. End of the Judas swing. So here I longed it basically on Nasdaq. Um, Friday we had this nice long here, even permitted at no, sorry, not pyramid. I mean, we took like three different partials, so absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, basically that advice has served me really well. So I'm gonna obviously stick to it. Uh, Perfect. So yes, let's move on to this week. So economic calendar wise, actually, it looks actually really really beautiful because you do not have a lot of disruptive news basically just coming out that you have to wait on to see what it does to price first, how price responds to it, how it's gonna, you know, how they're gonna basically use that news. You don't have to wait for that as you would normally. So Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing except for this. And then what was that? Sorry, an Empire State Index. So that alone in itself, not really gonna do much. For inflation, you might see something, but then again, it's at 7. Not really a time I would touch it anyway. I normally like to let it trade till 8. After 8:30 is normally where I want to be looking at my charts because typically that's when you will see the end of the Judas swing, um, or some kind of move to the other side, for my observation in price. Thursday again, nothing much. Well, actually, no. Thursday is one of the most eventful days. So 1:30, you have all this. So yeah, do expect movement. 1:30, be watchful for that. Friday again, going into the closing, nothing much. Okay, nothing. FOMC, CPI, NFP, none of that. Okay, so that straight away does make it a good fundamental week as far as news is concerned. Now, excuse me. So if you now move on to the charts, looking at the technicals, again, I think we're gonna actually have an explosive week, a week where it will expand. Okay, because this week it didn't really do that. As you can see, it didn't really cover a whole lot of range. Probably because we had NFP last week, all this movement here. So it's just trying to you know slow down a little bit. Um, but then again, nothing's changed for this week. Okay, we still have the same buy side targets I'm looking at. You still have the higher time frame monthly SIBI here, which by the way we've almost filled. I think we're just closing above the 50% of that on a weekly basis, which is obviously really good for a move into this area. So now obviously what I want to do is um, see if you can get up to obviously these two, and maybe if you're really energetic, close the monthly SIBI and the daily SIBI as well. Okay, so this is for DXY. Euro, sorry, not Euro, GBP USD. Again, you have the weekly CB here. Okay, now this is not as bearish as this is basically because you look at the close on the weekly, for example, and you can see that it closed above that. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna, it's closed here now. It's gonna go up here. It can, but I don't think it's likely to. Okay, why? That's why we first of all look at multiple markets. Correlating assets to get the full picture. So the reason we wouldn't is because we have all this. It's gonna have to go through all. It's gonna take a real move basically to push it through this order block, these wick CEs basically, and the basically the 4 hour and daily order, all of that. So it's gonna take a whole lot of movement to do that. So the easiest, least liquidity, least resistance place is obviously the risk off side. Okay, because it's gonna be risk off now that I'm looking at dollar higher and everything else lower. So previous weekly low is the easiest target. Okay, previous daily low, and then obviously these daily CBs that you have. I think the easiest is the weekly CB, BISI, sorry, to aim for the low of the weekly BISI. Counterparty wise, again, I would expect the buy side liquidity of the daily highs, seen as though we didn't really move much. We can have an expansive week, a large range week, So this week, if you are in trades that are on side, not the Judas swing, the normal day trades, because I'm trying to limit the Judas swings, because there's just so much meat basically on the other side of the Judas swing. Don't even need to concern myself with it, because a lot of the times you might be too late in the Judas swing or too early, and vice versa, and it just kind of throws you off your game. So I'd rather wait for the meaty move, for the main move, for the lines portion. And obviously, once I'm inside, risk off, I'm shorting it, because I'm going to be primarily, most of my trades are going to be shorts, sales basically this week. Then I'm going to take partial, and the second partial I'm actually going to wait for. Pyramid wise, again, we're going to pyramid to our standard. I think that's serving us well. We're not really changing that. But then again, if you look at the second partial, I think this is that week where we can see it going to our second partial actually. So it might actually be a good idea to even have 30% left off. But then again, I'm just going to have to, see how the day moves. If it's showing me those signatures, bags, breakaway gaps, all of that business basically, low resistance liquidity runs, it's in a hurry to get somewhere, all that behavior I'm going to be noting this week for the second partial. But then again, like I said, counterparty wise, you have this, you have this, you have this. I don't think it's going to go all the way up there, to be honest, but I've labeled it. Now if I just take these off because we do not require them, you can see the CE here, these two basically. And if I just go on a weekly real quick, I'm just gonna kind of move this here. That's an old CE, so let's just move this here. So that's 303.45. Okay, that'll be something interesting to watch how we react off of that. I'm gonna label this one as well. 706 CED. Okay, and if you just want to do the same with this one, I mean, it's kind of reacted to that already, so I'm just actually going to end up using the previous daily high level, see how it reacts should it take that out. And you do have the daily order block here. Now, this was actually intended to be a bullish order block, and we did actually see some response here, as you can see. I think this was actually one of my silver bullet longs, as far as I'm aware, on the October 4th. I believe we took a long here. I think. I forgot now, but I think I did take a long here somewhere. I know this was involved somehow, this daily order block. I did use it somewhere, I can't remember now, but everything is basically fractal. More confluences, the better. Time is obviously always going to be the ultimate deciding factor, regardless of how many P areas you have on your side. Time will be required to make a move. Price will not make a move if time is not relevant to making a move, okay? So, again, you can still pull this out here. I think it can still be a factor. Because remember, we're below that now. So what you want to see now is an inversion element come to it. So it being used as a resistance. Okay, body we don't typically want to see that close. The only thing with order blocks is it's just one line. It's just one level, right? Now it can react off of that sometimes. But a lot of the times you're going to see something like this basically, where it just goes and then it just comes back. The wick is not. So the wick is doing the damage. What I'm trying to say. Kind of the 4-hour fair value gap. That could actually be your inversion level, the 4-hour one. And the fact that it has 3 levels, so high, low, midpoint, it just makes it more powerful. Combining with this higher time frame, weekly, BISI, you have basically pretty much everything you can have on your side. With these buy side levels, what I want to see is I want to see how it reacts when it hits them. So all of that, again, it's just too much. I don't want to go deep into it, but just know that these are our counterparty levels. Okay, I'm not expecting it to go really deep. Even taking this high out, I think I'll be very surprised, because we have these equal highs. We could literally just hit them and just keep going down for the whole week, because remember, we haven't done much here. We better get a move on now, so it should be an easy week. Get in, don't chase the Judas, chase the lines portion of the move, and then just leave one partial on, let it run. Okay, good luck with trading.